Welcome to Wordplay, the podcast where metaphors spiral, sayings unravel, and two pals try and make sense of it all. I'm George.
And I'm Rach. And each week we pick a well known saying, such as when pigs fly or the cat's out the bag.
And then we run absolutely wild with it.
Sometimes it's deep, sometimes it's chaos, usually both. This is Wordplay. Let's get into it. Wordplay, playing with words that to play when we say them and play with them. Here is some synth keyboard that I'm doing with my mouth because I couldn't be bothered to get my keyboard from under all the junk in my bathroom. Second bathroom, I don't bathroom where there's a keyboard. That was more trumping. Okay, on to the episode.
There she is. There's my girl. There's Rach.
Hey, swirly girly. I was about to answer the phone, but then I was like, I'll answer it, but I'll also be on the call, so that would be double doozies.
Oh, we would have that thing where the audio goes where it's echoing so much.
Oh, and it's piercing, and nobody knows what to do.
Yes, and everyone loses all knowledge of how technology works for that split second. It's like hypnosis.
Ooh, it's true.
It gave me a chance to look at your WhatsApp profile picture, which is a gorgeous picture of Rachel at a festival, all in black, and it's to die for.
With my sister.
With your
I'm just
sister.
reminding myself. Oh yeah, it's cute, right? She has the same one at the minute though, I think, so it's very confusing in the group chats because we look like the same person.
Well,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You have a certain level of telepathy, so maybe you are converging.
That's true. Whoa.
Whoa.
Are you fresh off?
Am I fresh off what?
Fresh off an interview?
I am. Oh, yes, I am. And it went really, really well. The person who will remain anonymous because that is the nature of my study. Everyone is anonymous. It was lovely. Every interview that I've had so far, which by the way, I'm doing interviews, I'm interviewing makers on how community has affected them and their businesses. And it's really bloody cool. I'm doing it for my dissertation for my master's degree. And everyone is so nice and interesting and cool. And it just makes my heart so happy that I get to be part of this world.
I love that. And so nice to like speak to people directly, right? Because you have an image on seeing people like online or social media or whatever that's like kind of disconnected, but when you're actually like on a call with someone.
Yeah, and because I'm the interviewer, I'm just asking a question and let them go. And let me tell you, they have a lot to say.
Brill. Oh, so you're in interviewee mode right now.
Cool I am.
Mode. Why am I looking?
I've got two drinks next to me because I was so worried about my throat.
She planned ahead. I'm confused why I keep flipping backwards and forwards in this notebook. I think it's because it was open when I sat down. So I'm just like I'm doing something with it.
Instinctively thought, let me look at my notes.
Yes. And then pick up a pen and then was like, I don't write notes for this. We just chat.
Yeah, we're just two friends hanging out with some recording devices that happen to be there.
How did that get there?
Well, yeah, that's a long story, eh? Well, I am, because of my interviews, dear listener, I am grossly unprepared for this podcast recording. Usually I am so in it and I know what we're doing 2 weeks ahead of schedule. I've done my research. I've got nerdy with it. I have Googled my little heart out, looked at all the journals, gone back and looked at weird historians on TikTok talking about it. But today I am flying blind.
She's flying blind. And she did say to me, do you want to start later so I can do some research, or do you want to do some research? And I was like, let's fly blind, because I'm just intrigued to see what it will be like to fly blind again, because we did it the first couple of episodes. I think it was something like that. We did.
Yes, we did.
We did. And so I was like, let's just see what happens. And we can do some research midway through. Now I figured out that you can just pause the recording rather than having to like do 2 recordings, because I do remember it's tricky, isn't it, when you're like, it's fun to theorize, but then you get to a point where you're like, oh, it'd be helpful to actually know this.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
And that point always stresses me out because, as you know, I need to know everything all the time.
What did people do before the internet?
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Oh my God, I remember looking through that as a kid.
Same.
Wow.
I think my parents were already together. I don't know if I was alive yet or not. And a traveling salesman came to the door with the full set. And obviously they were like, yeah, absolutely. We're gonna invest here. My dad, who didn't believe the internet was ever going to catch on.
Wow. Wow.
And there's no
Oh.
danger of him listening to my podcast, so I can say whatever I like about you, father.
Oh, there's something so innocent about it, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know what though? I feel nostalgic for that for a simpler time. Even a time before I was alive, I feel nostalgic about it at the moment.
A time before you were alive, you were nostalgic about it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that
yeah.
defies all definition.
I know, but what was I watching the other day? It was something that was like 80s rock band related, and I was like, why do I feel so nostalgic? I wasn't even alive at this point.
Oh, wait, when it comes to music, there's actually I've researched this. There's like a specific like pattern of making music that evokes nostalgia, even if you weren't part of the time. Oh my god, that's going to have to be something that I watch a YouTube video on later because I love it.
Now I just want to talk about nostalgia because it's one of my favorite feelings.
God, does it have anything to do with the topic? I have no idea what it is because I feel like you sent it to me 5 minutes ago, but I have
I
not
did, but
checked
I've
my
already forgotten.
messages.
It doesn't, and now I'm like, is there a topic that's related to nostalgia? I don't think there is. Well, there might be, but not off the top of my head.
Dear listener,
We could,
please write in. Not that it will get to us in time, but let us know. Is there a metaphor related to nostalgia? Drop it in the comments on our Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
there must be, there must be. Okay, I've kind of loosely linked it to today's topic, which is or saying, which is a picture is worth 1,000 words. Ooh.
Oh my god, stop, because that perfectly links in my head because I'm immediately thinking about my obsession of looking through family photo albums at all the people that I never got a chance to meet.
Ah, okay. Right. Which the link I made in my head was that I feel like you could get nostalgia from a picture in a way that you couldn't from reading something.
Oh. Okay.
Ooh,
Feel like maybe Book Talk is going to have something to say about that, Missy.
that's true.
Also,
Ooh, interesting.
yeah. I'm thinking of all the books that were made into movies. And when you watch the movie, are you feeling more nostalgic than if you're reading the book? Because when I watch anything Viking related, I'm like, oh, if only I was a Viking. I wouldn't want to be a Viking, but like there's like a certain thing going on there. By the way, I wouldn't want to be I should expand on that. I wouldn't want to be a Viking because I'm not very good at violence, or I am good at violence, but I'm just not good at witnessing it.
Oh, I love that. Also, I kind of relate. Not that, no, I don't know if I'm particularly good at violence, but if it was,
we went to a rage room for my 30th birthday.
yeah, we did. But that doesn't
Yeah.
feel like I mean, it was violent, but like, to me, it doesn't feel like violence if it's not against another person.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not good at that kind of violence. To be clear, I'm not. Please, no. I've never
Well,
done
to be fair,
that. I will never do that.
also, what just came to my mind was like, I'm good at violence, but not witnessing it, and that like if you had to be violent towards another person, you'd have to like keep your eyes closed.
Yes. Oh my god, Marvel, like Daredevil. Wait, have you seen
I know
that?
nothing about. No, I know zero about
Okay,
that.
Daredevil is one of the Marvel like human superheroes. So he doesn't go like flying around or anything, but he's really good at martial arts and he's also blind.
Mm, okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. He
see.
gets into a lot of scrapes.
Hmm. But he has the instinct for where the hits
Exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He like goes into like this. It's really cool. If you haven't seen it, maybe you'll like it. But then again, you don't really do superhero things, so maybe not.
Well, in the pandemic, we did make it through all apart from maybe
Make it
4 or 5
through.
of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, okay.
We had Sunday night film time, which started off fun, but then it was a slog towards the end.
Oh my God. Well,
Mm.
okay. So I was just thinking for some reason, oh yeah, I was thinking about my friends listening to this because I have a friend, Izzy, who's really into superhero stuff. So if she was to ever listen to this, then she would learn that that you made it through and be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And then, sorry, I just need to tell you my thought process. I remembered
Mhm.
that I was going to say my friend Anne, but our friend Anne um, um, posted our podcast on her Instagram stories the other day, and it made me really, really happy because she was really enjoying our rambles. So, love you, Anne, if you're hearing this.
Shout out, Anne. This is fun. I must follow Anne. I don't follow Anne on Instagram.
Oh my God, why would you? Okay,
Oh,
resolve that
yeah.
immediately because you can't say
Okay.
that out loud
Well,
anymore.
my issue well, this is a whole tangent, but my issue is that I've uninstalled Instagram and I need to I'm in desperate need of a digital detox because my screen time yesterday was 8.5 hours and 4.5 hours of it wasn't on Instagram, but it was me on Reddit and the news. So like girl needs a circuit breaker right now. But I will follow
Okay.
Anne when I'm back on.
You heard it here first. I mean, this episode isn't going to come out for another 4 weeks, so you've got time.
That's true. I'll be back on. That's very true.
Anyway, a picture
Right.
is worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
Went on about 1,000 tangents then. Thank you for following us through that tunnel.
Tell me about your thoughts and feelings about a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Um, my immediate reaction is yes. Like I come from a family where we have multiple photographers. I studied photography at college at A level before I went on to do my foundation degree in art and design, which also had a fair bit of photography in. My photography teacher, Charmaine, is an absolute babe. I love her to death still to this day. What she did for my like artistic view and how I see the world and my knowledge of um, art history in specifically photography, uh, I owe her big time. I mean, I was the one doing the learning as well, but like she put up with a lot of stuff from having to teach at A level, and she's a legend. She's a legend. Um,
Beautiful.
and I didn't realize at the time that my mum was way, way more into photography when she was younger than she still is now, but like in an iPhone way rather than in a camera way,
Mhm.
And she didn't tell me until like I'd basically finished um my what's it called? A level? Yeah, A level.
Mhm.
And then I was like, wow, this is obviously something that has gone through our genetics.
Mm.
And then on my other side, my brother is an incredible photographer. He used to do photography for the O2 Academy.
Oh, cool.
And so I love, oh my God, is it 82 or 83? I was about to say, I love this band so much. And then I couldn't even remember what the freaking number was. Hang on. It is M83.
Oh, M83.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he photographed one of their gigs at the O2, and he knew that I loved their music. So
Mhm.
he did a massive print for me for my wall and framed it for my birthday or Christmas. I don't remember. Or maybe he just did it. Anyway, he's the best. And he's a really good photographer.
And this is an interesting one, right? Because in the a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? I feel like there's numerous interpretations of that with your brother doing that for you, which is a representation, like that representing a band that like gives you like a feeling or something related to the band, but also like as a gesture from him and what it represents of his like love or understanding or like that kind of thing.
Yes, there's that. And then there's the whole, not only is a picture worth 1,000 words, but then how does that relate when you're photographing music, which is a whole other level of self-expression through words, but also through sound in general.
Yes. Oh, there is layers of sensory experience going on here. Layers.
So in essence, my initial reaction is I 100% agree because of my history with photography, and also I had speech therapy as a kid, and communication, ironically, seeing as what my career is, has never been something that I've been able to trust myself to do effectively in terms of like getting my thoughts to process in my head and come out my mouth. Like there's a big delay.
Yeah.
She says, doing a podcast.
Amazing, really.
So pictures are like a shortcut for me.
Yeah. Which makes sense as well, because me and you talk in like visuals or metaphors a lot, right? And that's essentially like, I guess like a metaphor is essentially a visual, a picture in your imagination.
Oh my God. Sorry. The visual there, by the way, for anyone not listening on Spotify, where you can watch me and Rachel talk in real time alongside listening to us. My brain just melted because I didn't even put two and two together. That's exactly what we're doing with this freaking podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
It's a metaphor within a metaphor on a show about metaphors.
But I would be intrigued, and if listeners have any comments about this, which is because I know we have like we talk about metaphors, and some of them are like idioms and common sayings and things.
Yeah.
But does any like if we were to say a picture is worth 1,000 words, or maybe one that's a bit more visual, like bird in the hand is worth two in the bush or whatever, like when you say that, is everybody seeing that as a picture? Because not everybody thinks visually.
You see it as a picture, right?
Yeah.
Me too. Okay, good. And I feel like why use a metaphor if you're not like thinking about it? But maybe that's because that's my only experience of it, and I've never questioned it.
Well, yeah. And there are people that would understand and use a metaphor without seeing it in their mind in a visual way. But I don't think that way. I don't know how to articulate it, maybe.
Oh God, we need a guest.
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Rachel would be good for this, because I don't think he would think about it visually. He's in his office actually, but he's working. Boring. Whether or not, but
oh God.
Yeah, okay. Picture is worth 1,000 words. I also feel this is just a very practical consideration, but like if you're thinking about a book that's translated onto screen, I just feel like practically, if you were to take like 1,000 words of a script or 1,000 words of a book, it's so much less when you put it visually, because you're showing stuff rather than having to tell.
As in the time it takes you to read it versus watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Harry Potter, innit? Prime example.
Yeah.
But also they did cut a lot out of that. Sorry, my brain started malfunctioning then, because I was like, I don't want to support anything that ghastly woman does in any way, shape, or form.
You're like, I want to talk about it, but I'm fighting a fight in my head here.
Yeah. Protect the dolls.
But that's true because then they do often cut stuff out.
Yeah, they cut a lot of stuff
Hmm.
out. They cut a lot of stuff out, and they change storylines, and um that kind of messes with the metaphor a little bit for me, because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but I do prefer reading the book than watching the film when it comes to most things.
Why is that?
Because I feel like it is how the author originally intended the story to be told, and then B, I feel like it's the same way that I approach any kind of art, which is the reality of the art is determined by the person looking at it. So
Mhm.
you bring so much to it, and it is so much more connected to your soul when you're reading it rather than if you're watching a movie.
Right. Because you have to use your imagination
Mm.
and then you're putting your own spin on it or interpretation of it, which is a
Yeah,
lovely thing.
yeah. So I guess that's the only like way that perhaps I disagree with the metaphor, or maybe need to like disregard it or alter it in some fashion in that specific, unless you have
Hmm.
more examples in which you think it's absolute rubbish and needs to be thrown in the bin.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm not sure. I think I favour this generally. And to what I
Mm-hmm.
said before, like I feel like a picture. Oh, I don't know. I was so I feel like a picture would give me nostalgia more than reading would, or like a
Yeah.
feeling more than reading would. But I don't read a lot, and the kind of stuff that I do read is like relatively low quality. So
Oh
if I'm
wow.
thinking,
I thought you were going to say non-fiction.
well, non-fiction, I don't read loads of it these days, but like, yeah, non-fiction, or it's like trashy romance or like thriller stuff, which
Mm.
I'm not against because I'm all for reading what you want to read, but like it's not like I started reading oh God, what's it called? Uh,
I don't
I can't
know.
remember. I know
Uh,
the word
You don't.
the I started reading a book that was actually like it had won a prize and it was like actually a decent book, and I did what I do with most books, which is when I was on holiday I read like half of it and I was really loving it, but I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
But it was like that was that because of the way it was written, I felt like I was inside of it and using my imagination, and like that had a lot of feelings and it felt really nice. So actually in that sense I'm like that was kind of nicer than a picture.
So you just need to find yourself a good book.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The other thing I'll say, and I'm obsessed with this, which is
Go on.
I have got on my bookshelf over there 3 books: Understanding Comics, Making Comics, and Reinventing Comics, when I went through a comic phase about a year ago. And I haven't read a lot of comics or graphic novels at all, but I just am fascinated by them. And I get a feeling when I'm reading one like nothing else, which this guy, Scott McCloud, who wrote this book about understanding comics, I feel like described perfectly, which is that graphic novels is the only form of media where you can view past, present, and future at the same time.
Oof.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
What's that show that we watched that is on Netflix that was the graphic novel series that you've got? Heartstopper?
Oh,
Heartstopper.
Heartstopper. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what was my foray into to graphic novels, like I think many people's.
Oh my god.
Um
I love
I
them.
love
I haven't I actually so I went through a massive phase when I was, I guess, like 12 or 13, and I was obsessed. But the thing is, they weren't easy to get at that time. They had like 2 series in Waterstones, and they would get the new one in every now and again. Um and that was it. But now you go into bloody Forbidden Planet in London, which if our listeners haven't been in there, is like a massive store for nerds where you can just go, and they have like every graphic novel under the sun and every like figurine and like all merchandise from all of like the nerdy shows. It's amazing. You can get everything now. It's a different world we live in now.
Different. Well, and maybe on a graphic novel, it's like it's the interplay between the picture and the words that's part of it.
Yeah.
Though arguably that's what movies and TV is, I suppose, but
you can't see the past and the future at the same time. You can only just be in that one scene.
Yeah.
Although, where does music fit into this? Because I feel like for me personally, like music and food are like oxygen to me. I need them to be able to function and not be depressed. And the creation of food, definitely, and if I was more talented, the creation of music would definitely be part of that. But I settle for singing, and something that I do that I've always done, and that is frustrating to me, so I can only imagine it must be frustrating to other people, is when I know a song really, really well, which I tend to do because I get obsessed and I'll listen to something 147 times in a row. I will start singing the lines like half a second before they come in, all the way through the song. So in that case, I am living in the future and the past and maybe the present. I don't know,
because you know it all. You know what's come before. You know what's coming next.
Yeah.
But I feel like music, and I'm sure there must be some research about this, and maybe we'll have a research portion shortly. But like, I feel like listening, there's more power emotionally in listening than there is in like looking, like visually.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I feel like I've heard something or some research done about like the way in which people like music will cause nostalgia, or like you'll associate music with you know, like a relationship that you had or something that's happened to you in the past.
Tell me about
in a more powerful way than anything else. I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I can make a whole damn playlist dedicated to other people.
Yeah. So
that'll be a messed up playlist.
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Unless there's music involved. and then it shifts, but we're not quite sure how.
But I guess it depends what we mean by worth. Like, what it's worth 1,000 words in what way? Because music, I guess we're talking about an emotion, like promoting emotion.
Right. And then it becomes really subjective, because the conversations that us as small business owners, me as a marketing strategist and you as an ADHD coach, have in terms of worth is usually down to determining the value of our packages and like what is our time worth and all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
And
very transactional.
But very transactional, but also one of the hardest things for you to pin down on earth, it feels like, because it's like such an intangible thing that relies on you being able to quantify so many different elements of your experiences, your time, your confidence, everything,
and relative to what somebody else perceives it to be worthwhile, which is down to partly how you communicate what it is, but also their own reference point of how much they're willing to pay for something, right? Or like what their personal circumstances are.
Exactly. So when you say a picture is worth 1,000 words, I'm thinking like it's not just down to the person that's perceiving the picture or the mirroring words, but it's also down to like a general consensus of like what people value that as, you know?
Oh, you know where I thought you were going with that, which has sparked another thought.
Because that might have been where I was going, because I felt like I went down a different path than the one that I was on originally.
So I thought you were going to say that a picture is worth 1,000 words to the person that is perceiving it. Sorry, the worth is measured by the person that's perceiving it, but is it also measured by like the person that has created it? As in, oh no, where am I going with this? Like as a and I guess the best way I can put that into something tangible is like I journal a lot and I'm a massive verbal processor, but sometimes I'm in a headspace where I can't understand or communicate in a written way. And so the way that I will express it is in a visual way. And so for me as the creator of that in that moment, the picture is worth 1,000 words because I couldn't have got to that conclusion through the words.
Okay, and then how does journaling fit in with that? Because you take a picture of your face and like, okay, that's my face. You journal about what's in your brain and maybe
Well, and I guess when I say picture, it would be like drawing something. You know, like sometimes I'll do Lego builds, but it'll be metaphorical. I guess I'm thinking more like visual representation rather than word representation.
okay, so we're not talking like Van Gogh versus like Simon Armitage, the poet laureate.
Well, no.
Because
But that
how the hell do we measure that?
well, that's my thought on that is like, how do you? It's like comparing apples and oranges, right? Like, how are you? What is the comparison there?
God, I started off so strong in my belief that I absolutely loved this saying because I was so passionate about it because I'm like, yes. And also, I'm a visual learner. Like, if
Yeah,
somebody gives me directions, okay, cool, in one ear, out the other, I swear to God. If someone draws me a little map or even just does little arrows like up, left, right, then I've got it down. The number of times I've had to stop people and whilst they've been saying things and just like wait, either I need to write this down or you need to write it down for me because this is not gonna work.
yeah. But then in that example, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's not even really about the number of words. It's just about the like efficacy of words in general, because it could be 20 words, but if there's no visual, then you're not getting where you want to go.
And it depends on the efficacy of the words, which
Yeah.
depends on the person's skill of wordsmithing
Yeah.
and whether they're written down or thrown out into the air.
Shall we do a little research on what this phrase actually is?
Let's
Be right back.
do it. And we're back in the room.
Ooh.
It's like
So,
we never
I
went
think
away.
nowhere. It wasn't too long actually, but it's much nicer than the pressure of being like, let me find this information while we're still recording, so people don't get bored while I'm looking.
Yep. So
Okay.
hit me. What you got? What you got, Bestie?
Okay, but this source is primarily Wikipedia, but from a brief glance over other sources, it seems to be legit. I think you're going to enjoy this. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna get my pillow. One sec.
You.
Okay, I'm ready.
Very cute. Wait, is that Cloud?
Yeah, of course it's a cloud. You know how much I love clouds, and it's from the nursery section in either Lidl or Aldi. I can't remember. Sorry, guys. And it's so soft, and I sleep with it every night.
It pleases me that your head fits into that gap as well.
Pleases me too. Let me tell you.
Did you take your little shark with you?
Oh, Bob, no, he couldn't come with me on this occasion, but he will be joining me the next time somebody comes to visit because I'm gonna ask them to bring a whole bunch of stuff.
Cute. For reference, me and Georgia were in town and we went to the works and we both they were like £4, these little plushy toys, and she got a shark and I got a frog looking thing, and I sleep with him every night.
His name is Glenn Gregory.
We started calling him, when it gets a bit much, we call him Glegory.
Okay, back to the message.
Okay.
Back to the message.
Okay, wait, I want to see your face at the same time, so let me just minimize. A picture is worth 1,000 words. In March
Mhm.
1911, the Syracuse Advertising Men's Club held a banquet to discuss journalism and publicity. Blah 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 blah. Um,
Men's club. Okay.
the
I'm sat in 1911. I'm visualizing it.
I'm painting a picture for you here.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah, so basically an advertising men's club got together and Arthur Brisbane said, use a picture, it's worth 1,000 words, in referencing to advertising. So you can basically better and more easily communicate something visually than you can by putting it in writing.
Which
Um,
which makes complete sense, because as a marketer, you want to show them, you don't want to tell them every single time. Show them.
exactly. It's interesting here that it says it is generally attributed to Fred R. Barnard, who wrote the phrase in the advertising trade journal Printers Inc. But it has later been labeled as a Chinese proverb, but he apparently admitted that he said it was a Chinese proverb so people would take it more seriously.
Legend.
But then it says, nonetheless, the proverb soon after became popularly attributed to Confucius. But it doesn't seem to be
Oh
like
my God.
that's the case. The actual Chinese expression is hearing something 100 times isn't better than seeing it once.
Wow. Wow. So real seeing is believing kind of stuff.
Yeah, ooh, which is a whole other strand that we're going for here.
It's a whole
Um,
other can of worms.
yeah. What's going on?
My Siri just started talking to me saying, wow, a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Wow.
What? I thought he was speaking Vietnamese because it didn't sound English.
I don't there was no prompt there. There was no prompt. I'm not sure why. Um maybe I need to go to Panama with a man.
That was very random.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the core idea is that visual representations are powerful tools for communication, often more effective than words at explaining certain concepts or evoking a response. I back that.
Okay. I mean, I think this goes back to my thing of experiencing art and how we put ourselves into it, because I think it's easier to emotionally connect when you're reading into an image, because you're putting yourself in it accidentally, maybe. But
Ooh, yeah. Wait, but then you would do that in writing, no?
how does memory work?
Oh, that's a big question. And I did
you haven't degreed, no?
yeah, and my whole in third year of uni, I literally did neuropsychology of memory and I wrote a dissertation about memory and autism. And could I communicate that easily to you? I'm not sure.
Wait, so I'm asking them. So not only do you know how memory works, but you might know how my memory works.
Yeah, I can give you some inklings.
Oh my God, can we have a conversation about that after the pod? Because I would like to know specifics. But for now, she has
Okay.
a thought.
Well, no, I was trying to decide whether there's a link here because it is about okay, I'll say something because it is
Thank God.
it is
This
it
is a
is related to
podcast.
this. Although what I will say is I did this 10 years ago and science moves on and I don't know what the current thinking is.
Okay.
But
Disclaimer.
the disclaimer, the research that we did was basically testing a theory that adults with autism tend to struggle to retrieve visual memories and have a better semantic memory, which is memory for like detail and information and facts. And the theory that we tested was that when people with autism are encoding a memory, they recognize the different features. So, like where things are in space, what the sounds were, what the items were, but that they don't bind them together. And so when they retrieve them, they struggle to like get a full picture of what happened. That was the theory. And the research we did like found it to be true. I can't remember what I wrote in my like summary, but like indicative early signs were that there was an indication that was the case.
That's amazing. Oh God.
I love that.
Now I need to know what happens when you are an ADHDer, when you have the combination, like how
Right?
memory is. I guess it depends on like where you sit on the scales. But what you just said highly relates to a lot of people in my family slash network slash people that I've dated, that description exactly describes how they are with memory.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which I feel like relates to this topic of picture being worth 1,000 words in terms of if we're going to go down the memory route,
Mhm.
because well, and this is like what is the ADHD, autism, or ADHD version of this? In like my semantic memory is trash. Like like I can't remember facts and details like barely at all because
Yeah.
I can't place them visually. And so
Mhm.
I what am I trying to say? I don't know.
You're trying to say that, and that makes 100% sense why so many people with the combination will fly under the radar, because it's just another example of the two things not canceling each other out but balancing each other in some way that you kind of seem normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you
Because it's like opposite ends of the spectrum. I don't like that word, but spectrum
yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of how your memory is working.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's very interesting.
it's fascinating. So in terms of a picture is worth 1,000 words to an ADHD memory, 100% to an autistic memory. What? No, definitely not.
Mm. Yeah. And I'm sure there's like variation within that, but
Can you tell me the Confucius thing again?
just that it apparently was attributed to Confucius, this saying, but it doesn't. Let me Google Confucius because it doesn't seem to be that there's anything.
Directly linked.
Yeah, it's just sort of been incorrectly attributed over time.
That's so
Oh,
interesting, isn't it?
likely because he was a famous Chinese philosopher and it was a clever marketing ploy to make it more credible.
That is both fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
I can't decide if I'm comforted or scared that like all of this stuff. I mean, it should be obvious, but all of this kind of stuff, sort of like fake newsy or like manipulating stuff to give off a certain impression. This was the 1920s. This has been going on the whole time.
Yeah, but yeah, really, really, really genuinely. We only, I guess, are more aware of it now because social media makes everything so loud,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you can well, I was gonna say you can fact check things easily, but you cannot. Like it's literally just the same. It's the same as it's always been.
Yeah. Which is both scary and a comfort at the same time.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, the origins were from a marketing sense, but it also tracked. Oh, this is what I was going to say. In an instructions related sense, like reading a manual of instructions versus
Yes.
like IKEA are the best, in my view anyway, the best instructions that exist in the land.
What visually, you mean? Oh,
Yeah,
because you need
of
visual
all.
instructions.
Yeah, you don't have to read anything, and it's really clear and broken down what it is that you need to do.
Right, right. Okay. See, when you say instructions, I immediately go to cookbooks,
Ooh.
and I would like both. I would like both. I would like visual and a little bit of writing so that I kind
Mm.
of know what's going on. But I suppose that's different because it's like measurements and stuff.
This is intriguing though, because my instinct was you couldn't have a cookbook that was purely visual, but could you?
I think we should make one.
Oh my God. I think that would
Weren't
be a great
we
idea.
weren't we already doing a range of desserts? I'm pretty sure.
Wait, was that related to another episode?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I've got a vague
You've got a
memory of
vague
that.
memory, but not a strong memory because it was said out loud rather than written down
Yeah.
or visualized in any
I
way.
can't
Oh,
place it in a.
how about I do the branding for our fake dessert company and then I will show that to you and you will then have a memory of it.
Yeah. What was it
Okay.
called?
Um, well, okay, talk for a moment and I'll go back through our episodes.
It's because I'm getting mixed up with another idea that we had during recording, which was wasn't it a like sitcom idea about? Oh no, wait, is this related? Was it
Yes,
dessert related as a crime?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Crime.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I okay. I knew it. I just did. I had it in the context of a crime drama where there was desserts.
Which episode was this?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Okay, I don't think it's one that we've published so far, so that's going to be lost. If anyone knows, write it in the comments below.
Woo!
Oh, gosh,
But yeah, instructions I think should be visual. I'm not
stunning.
opposed with some words to complement, but not. Ah, well,
The
no, whatever.
way that you say something and immediately go to contradict it is
Yeah.
stunning, and I love you, and you're amazing. How are we rounding off this episode? What do we have closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts would be that, as with all of these phrases, there is much nuance to that because I don't think it's necessarily about being a picture worth 1,000 words, because sometimes it's not about number of words or quantity of words. It's just an outright kind of difference. Is that what I'm trying to say? But to me, the essence is that a picture is better than words, and I agree with that. Oh no,
Right.
yep.
I mean, okay, so I know I went on a lot about music, okay, but I was also a massive, massive music video watcher as a teenager.
Mhm.
Music videos have a strong, strong place in my heart. When I listen to a song now, um, especially if it's Rihanna, I get a strong visual recall of the music video in my head, and I can do it like back to front, easily replay it in my head. So I'm going to agree with you completely. And I'm going to say 10 out of 10, agree. Maybe don't attribute things to ancient philosophy to get your way, though.
It's true. And what we haven't covered is I don't think there's a context where I use this phrase, but I agree with it, and I feel like it's more like a life philosophy than it is like a something you would throw out there.
It's the philosophy I use for my Instagram, because my personal Instagram, I mean, because there I don't care about searchability. By the way, if you want to get found on Instagram, make sure you're doing long captions with loads of keywords. I don't do that on my personal because I don't care about being found. I focus on the visuals because I think they speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And there we go.
And actually, I've seen a few Instagram videos recently where, it'll be like tips for this or like, oh, this happened. And I'm waiting for the video to show me. And then it's not, it's tips in the caption.
I hate
And I'm
that.
like, I'm not going to read that.
No.
No. So there you go. The picture would have made it worth it.
Well, this was lovely.
As always.
Goodbye.
Bye. Episode's over, but you don't want to miss the outro. Thanks for spiraling through another metaphor with us.
If you like this episode, tell your mates, leave us a review, or shout a saying at us online.
You can find me, Rach, over on YouTube at Rach Does YouTube.
And you can find me, George, watching Rachel's videos over on YouTube, but also on Instagram at makinga.fuss.